are again, but still you to be here. That's an honor for us. Thank you so much. So Steve, my first question to you is, we have seen a lot of progress between India and US under Mr. Trump and Mr. Modi. Now, going forward, what would be the priorities of the US administration as far as the relations with India are concerned?
Well, obviously, I don't speak for the administration, but based on what I've learned and the people I've worked with in the Trump campaign, I can tell you a few things. First of all, the word respect. Nothing begins without respect. And India is a well-respected superpower. Let's not forget that. Now, you said I have some pain here. I'll tell you where the respect begins. Last Saturday night, very serious injury. Very serious. I was rushed to the hospital. And I'm in the emergency room, so the doctor came in, and he said, you know what? This is bad. 6 to 8 weeks before you even get out and you get recovered. Very bad. I said, Doc, you got to get me out of here by May 22nd. I can't wait 6 to 8 weeks. And I kept on saying May 22nd. And he said, well, where do you have to be? What's so important? Is your anniversary or something? I said, no, I'm going to be at the summit regarding the nation of India and the relationship with the United States. And he said, India. And I go, yeah. He said, I like India. He says, I think India is great. And he talked about the contributions of the Indian Americans to the healthcare system. And he went on and on, and I said, 6 to 8 weeks is too long. He says, India, forget the 6 to 8 weeks. I'll have you there May 22nd, and here I am. That's respect.
Right. So, so what next? Because we have already seen the vision that's evolving between India and US, and now with Japan and Australia also coming in, there is already a discussion of having a strategic initiative where US, India, Japan, Australia, they will try and contain China and South China Sea and the entire Indian Ocean region. What's your take on that?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that India is the most important strategic partner we have there. Okay, most important. India's going to be taking the lead in many, many different ways. But to give you an example, and these things were mentioned earlier, the U.S. Pacific Fleet is no longer the U.S. Pacific Command, it's U.S. Pacific Indo Command. It shows great cooperation between India's military and the United States military. And what comes with that is intelligence sharing against terrorism. Intelligence sharing that will do great, great things in order to prevent instability in the region. And China, yes, China can bring instability to the region. But keep in mind that President Trump, from what I've learned, and also the leaders of India, no one wants conflict. The goal is to make sure that we don't create an atmosphere where there's conflict. There could be business competition, there could be healthy debate, healthy dialogue, but no one wants conflict. So I foresee in the future that the United States government and India and the countries you just mentioned, somehow, some way will bring China to the table. They'll have no choice. They'll have no choice. So if China comes to the table and the goal is everybody's got to cooperate. And this president is known as a great negotiator. He likes to fight wars across a table, not in a sea or not on land. So I see nothing but, look, I'm the eternal optimist. This president is an optimist. But I see good things ahead. So the rhetoric's going to get lowered, and I think you're going to see more cooperation as we move forward. It's going to be tough. No, it's tough. These guys are businessmen too. You know, any businessmen out there? I know how you guys negotiate. It's a tough deal. But you know what I'm talking about. So that's, I think, where we're headed.
Absolutely. But can India hope that Mr. Trump will be, or the US administration will be able to convince China to get rid of their obsession with Pakistan and their pro-Pakistan policy?
I believe that President Trump has a way about him that he can pretty much convince the leaders of other countries to come his way. It takes negotiations. It takes a lot of tough negotiations. But yeah, I believe that. I believe that he's going to be able to, President Xi, by the way, he has a relationship with, all right? And this is important. Relationships we see and read about in the news. And all this rhetoric, and Twitter was mentioned earlier, and all kinds of things we see. But what we don't see is that personal relationship, up front and personal, where there's two leaders in a room, and they're staring each other in the eye, they're looking out for their body language. That's where accomplishments are made. Again, I go back to this. I do see the President of the United States convincing China that they're going to have to, at some point, reassess some of the actions that they've taken in the past and come to that table and let's work together.
So, for the US president, the next president, whoever that president would be, and in all likelihood, Mr. Trump, I mean, that's the sentiment, that's what we have picked up from here. What would be your suggestion or your advice to him in terms of dealing with Pakistan?
Boy, what a question, huh? Wow. Well, he will be the next president of the United States. Donald Trump is getting reelected. Now, here's the issue. And again, I'm not speaking for the administration. So if there's any reporters out there, I want you to know that.
We are the biggest reporters.
You are. Thanks, guys. Good to meet you. Look, the problem, I believe, that not just our leaders in this country, but the American people have with Pakistan is a terrorism issue. That's really serious stuff, and they're serious. From what I understand, I worked with military intelligence a good part of my life. Pakistan, in my view, all right, as just a military intelligence officer retired, is going to have to back off on harboring, aiding, or whatever they do with regard to terrorism. That's got to stop. That's got to stop. And I want you to think about what one of your last speakers said. And you were right. Whoever you are who said this, you talk about ethics, you're looking at India. You talk about honesty, you're looking at India. You're looking at integrity, you're looking at India. You're not looking at terrorism, you're not looking at the things that are disrupting the world, you're looking at things that are uniting the world. And maybe that is the model, all right? That's the model for the region. So if you look at Pakistan or any other country that is going down a road unlike that, they better reassess themselves if they want to be sitting at that table.
What's your take on the trade deficit between US and China and US and India? Because I think Mr. Trump, and you would know personally as well, he's really upset about India not offering enough relief to Harley Davidson, and he has often tweeted about it. What's your take on that?
Yeah, look, he's upset. I'm upset. We're all upset when there's issues regarding, companies here in the United States, etc. But look, I know and I feel and I sense that the President of the United States, as well as many of our leaders here, we know the contributions of the Indian people to this country. We know that when I said superpower earlier, it's just not military and it's just not might. But the superpower is what is in the heart, the soul, and the spirit of your culture, of your heritage, and of your history. You brought it right here to the United States of America. And that is how a country is built, from the family. You want to talk about family? Point to the Indian Americans that have come here. You know who's getting the scholarships. You know who's getting the awards. You know who's getting elevated in the school systems across the country. Indians, Indian Americans, all right, South Asians. So we look at that, not as a put down of other ethnicities, but as a model to raise up. What did I say? India, lifting up. So my point is that if we look at the positive, and we look at and accent the positive and the contributions, you know what? That's the road we should go down. A lot of politics, people will be upset that whether it be Harley Davidson, whether it be another company that's kind of going here and going there. But at the end of the day, we're friends. And you know what? From friends, we're family. And that's the perspective I know and believe that the President and our Congress and the good leaders of this country are going to take as we move forward.
One last question before we wrap up. We have seen this.
Wrap up. We just got started. Yeah, I wish when I was on CNN they'd wrap up this quick.
Okay, let the audience decide. Do you want to hear more of him?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so a couple of more questions. But this one I have to ask you. We have seen the sea change, as far as the behavior of US is concerned when it comes to Pakistan. Tomorrow, now maybe a decade later, 20 years later, if there is a situation where US has to back India up against the situation where China is involved, what would be the stand of US?
This is my opinion.
Yes.
You know what I said 5 minutes
As
ago?
an insider.
Yeah, that's it. Whoa, I'm not that inside. CNN, I'm not that inside. Don't go. What did I say 5 minutes ago? We're family. We're friends. We are allies not only in the past and the present, but forever. That is not going to stop. So right now, moving forward, we're going to move forward together. And we're going to help bring peace to that region, but also based on the model I talked about regarding India, that may be the model to bring peace to regions all over the world. I mean, we're just, we can't limit ourselves. We got to think out of the box. And sometimes those best ideas come from people like you, and our young people, and our teenagers. So our leaders are listening. I got to tell you, President Trump, he gets a lot of heat for the things he tweets or says. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. But one of the things he wants to do, he wants to be the president, and he's getting there, that will be the catalyst to bring peace to different regions around the world. But he knows he needs partners to do that, just like business partners. He knows he needs India, and he's going to work very hard to make sure that we stay together. What's it say? The family that prays together stays together. So we're going to pray, and we're going to stay.
I think that's the best closing remark we could have. But before I let you go,
I love pain here, buddy.
so before I let you go, a lot of people back home in India do believe that India is the best bet for US when it comes to containing China.
I agree. And I agree, and I'll qualify that. I'll not just say I agree, but look, you're a superpower. India's a superpower. We got superpower people here from India. And so we recognize that. When I say we, the people I hang with, I'm not going to, like I said, I can't talk.
We know who you hang with.
The way he's talking, I'm going to be hung today. But I would say this, that let's remember this, all right? We all believe there's a God above, all right? We all believe that through our prayers and through our hard work and putting our faith to work, there's only one outcome, and that's peace, and that's love. And that's working together and understanding each other and doing what I said when I started, respecting each other. There's my answer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Folks, it was a pleasure and honor. Thank you.